Hello everyone, welcome to AY tutorials. Today we are going to study blood coagulation. In this video we are going to study what is blood coagulation, what are the different key points in blood coagulation and different coagulation factors in detail. Introduction to the coagulation. Blood coagulation is also known as clotting. It is the essential process to prevent the excessive blood loss after injury or trauma. Blood coagulation, this process by which a blood clot is formed, it preventing the excessive bleeding when a blood vessel is injured. Then what is the mechanism behind this? Is blood stops flowing from the wound, that is it forms a clot or coagulum forms. Then clot formation, a network of fibrin threads that trap deformed and dead blood cells, that is erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets. This coagulation is also known as clotting, and it is the process by which blood changes from a liquid state to the gel, forming a blood clot whenever there is the excessive loss of blood. It results in homeostasis, which is the cessation of blood loss from the damaged vessel followed by the repair. The process of coagulation, it involves activation, adhesion and aggregation of the platelets as well as the deposition and maturation of fibrin. And so there is the formation of the fibrin threads that trap, deform and dead blood cells and forms a clot. Key players in the clotting. First one is the thrombokinase, then thrombin, platelets and calcium ions. So first one is the thrombokinase. Thrombokinase is the enzyme that converts prothrombin to the active thrombin. Here the platelets contain an enzyme called as thrombokinase, also known as thromboplastin. This enzyme, it plays crucial role in the clotting of the blood by converting prothrombin to thrombin in the presence of calcium ions, which is a key step in the coagulation cascade. Second one is the thrombin. It activates fibrinogen to the fibrin. So this thrombin is a crucial enzyme in the blood coagulation process, primarily responsible for converting the fibrinogen into fibrin, which forms the structural basis of the blood clots. Third one is the platelets or thrombocytes. They stimulated by the injury to release the factors initiating the clotting. So these thrombocytes or the platelets, they are the crucial for blood clotting as they form plugs at the injury sites, preventing excessive bleeding and facilitating wound healing. Last one is the calcium ions. They play crucial role in blood coagulation. So in the presence of calcium ions and the other clotting factors, prothrombinase activates an enzyme called as prothrombin activator. This enzyme is then converts the protein prothrombin into the thrombin, and thrombin is an enzyme that in turn converts the fibrinogen to fibrin, which causes the blood clot. Coagulation factors. Definition. Coagulation occurs through a series of the reactions involving activation of 13 identified clotting factors. Nomenclature named after discoverers or their activity. Unique case. Factor IX, that is Christmas factor, is named after the patient in whom it was discovered. So these 13 coagulation factors includes fibrinogen, prekallikrein, calcium, then antihemophilic factor, then plasma thromboplastin, then thromboplastin, kinogen, proaxilrin, proconvertin, prothrombin, then factor 8, proaxilrin, proconverting, Christmas factor, Stuart-Prower factor and Hageman factor. Step 1. Formation of prothrombin activator. First step, in secondary homeostasis. There are two pathways: extrinsic coagulation pathway, that is tissue factor pathway. This is the shorter pathway. Damaged vascular wall releases the tissue factors or thromboplastins. Here, whatever the vascular wall is damaged, that it releases the tissue factors. Then the tissue factor, they activates the factor 6 and 6a. The factor 6a, it activates the factor 10 and 10a in presence of calcium ions. And in case of intrinsic coagulation pathway, this pathway is the longer pathway, and it includes the exposure of the blood to the coagulation from damaged endothelium, and it activates the factor 11 and 11 12 and 12a. 12a, it activates the factor 11 and 11a. 11a, it activates the factor 9 and factor 9a in presence of calcium ions. Factor 9a with the factor 7a in with the and calcium ions and phospholipids, it activates the factor 10 and 10a. Step 1, common pathway. Convergence. Both intrinsic and extrinsic pathways, they lead to the formation of factor 10a. Prothrombin activator formation. The factor 10a and factor V, then phospholipids and calcium ions, they combine to form the prothrombin activator. Then step 2, conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Prothrombin, that is factor number 2, it is an inactive plasma protein synthesis. It requires vitamin K in the liver. So for the formation or the synthesis of prothrombin, vitamin K is required. Then activation, the previously formed prothrombin activator, it converts the prothrombin to active thrombin. Then thrombin's role. What is this thrombin's role? It is the proteolytic enzyme which stimulates its own formation, that is, it gives the positive feedback and promotes the prothrombin activator formation by activating the factors 8, 5 and 13. Step 3 is the conversion of fibrinogen into the fibrin. Fibrinogen, that is factor 1, it converted to the fibrin by thrombin. Then fibrin formation. Thrombin forms fibrin monomers that polymerizes into the long fibrin threads. Stabilization, these threads are then stabilized by the factor 13, that is fibrin stabilizing factor. Then factor 13 activation. The thrombin activates the factor 13 to the factor 13a. Then fibrin mesh. Activated factor 13a, it forms the cross links between the fibrin threads in presence of calcium ions, destabilizing the fibrin network. Then final is the clot formation. The fibrin mesh, it traps the blood cells to form a solid clot. Blood clotting disorders. There are certain blood clotting disorders like hemophilia. In that, hemophilia A, hemophilia B and hemophilia C, and also the thrombosis. Hemophilia, it is characterized by the excessive bleeding due to the absence of specific clotting factors. So if there is the deficiency of the factor 8, then hemophilia A can be occurred. Then if there is the deficiency of the Christmas factor, then that Christmas disease, that is the hemophilia B, occurs. Then if there is the deficiency of the factor 11, then hemophilia C can occur. Then what is thrombosis? Formation of a blood clot inside the blood vessel and blocks the blood flow. It can occur in the arteries, which leads to the ischemia or necrosis. Or veins. A clot may break free and circulates, causing an embolism. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the AY tutorial.